Who is going to make money today in New York's financial district? If it's anything like yesterday and the day before, it will probably be the people with the fastest network, the best connections, the most expensive technology.
I've come to New York to meet some people who think they can rewire the financial system to make it work for ordinary investors and the companies that need to raise capital for their businesses to grow. They've started their own stock exchange.
It's called the Investors Exchange, or IEX. Brad Katsuyama was a trader for the Royal Bank of Canada. He set up the exchange because he became disillusioned with the way stock exchanges allowed other traders to feed off his orders.
What stock exchanges have become are vendors of data and technology, where they now make more money by selling high-speed data and technology than they actually do from matching buyers and sellers.
The complexity of the market is almost overwhelming. 13 stock exchanges in the US alone and dozens of other venues, all dealing in the same shares. At its heart, each venue is a computer. How quickly traders can connect to each of these computers can determine who makes money. Selling these ultra-fast connections is a very lucrative business for the exchanges.
They're selling tiers and levels of access, and the more money you'll pay them, the better and quicker access that you'll get.
The tourists come to Wall Street to see the American capitalist powerhouse, but the institutions they've come to see are in reality long gone. To find them, we have to get out of Manhattan and head east.
The fact is, wherever these stock exchanges say that they're based, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, they're all actually housed in 4 highly secure data centers, all of them in New Jersey.
Forget the idea of traders waving their arms around. This is what a real stock exchange floor looks like. This is the Equinix NY5 data center in Secaucus, New Jersey. It houses 4 of America's 13 regulated stock exchanges. To be allowed to have a tour of this place and film, I had to agree not to identify anyone or anything. The organizations that pay to be in here are buying absolute discretion, absolute secrecy.
This is not a sight you see every day. This is one of the 4 main financial data centers in the United States. Trillions and trillions of dollars a day are traded in the computers and the servers and the wires in this building.
Hundreds of brokers, asset managers and traders rent space here because they want to be as close as possible to the exchange's computer, called the matching engine.
This is a graphical representation of orders, both buy orders and sell orders coming into the market, and these circles that you see.
Ronan Ryan is a network engineer. Before he and Brad founded IEX, he made a very good living installing the ever faster boxes and cables for traders looking for tiny speed advantages.
It's not only being in the building as close as possible to the exchange, it's where you are in the building relative to where the exchange is. And to give you an idea on that, roughly, so they say 11.8 inches, so roughly a foot of cable equates to a nanosecond, a billionth of a second. And people are getting into pissing matches over the length of their cable in relation to where the matching engine is.
How does speed mean money? Well, imagine a pension fund is looking to buy 1 million shares. The order might start in one exchange, but have to travel round others to find all the shares. A high-speed trader who's paid the first exchange for super-fast access detects the order in a few millionths of a second and races round the other exchanges to buy up the available shares. By the time the pension fund arrives at the other exchanges, it has to buy it from the trader at a slightly higher price. It's a guaranteed profit for the trader and great business for the exchange. This is where the New York Stock Exchange really is. Its massive windowless data center in Mahwah, New Jersey. Traders can locate their computers inside, of course, for a price.
Indeed, it's estimated that if you wanted to connect to all the exchanges in the US, use the highest speed services available, it would cost you up to $1 million a year in fees.
They want one team to win more than the other, because if the team that was buying these advantages was losing, they'd stop buying the advantages. So the price that is being paid for these advantages helps give you some sense of the magnitude of the cost, and it ends up adding up to billions of dollars.
IEX is different. This is their matching engine, housed in the CenturyLink's NJ2 data center in Weehawken. Not only can you not pay to get faster access, IEX routes all orders through this boring-looking box. It contains miles and miles of fiber optic cable coiled up. It's a speed bump to slow down the high-speed traders.
What we've done is we've delayed the access by 350 microseconds. And just to give you an idea on what that means, it's 350 millionths of a second, 1/1000 the blink of an eye, whoever measures this stuff, but it's approximately that. And that allows us to interpret what's going on in the market and ensure that the experience on IEX is as fair as possible.
So how does this protect investors? Well, say a pension fund puts in its order to IEX. It goes through a 350 microsecond speed bump on its way in, but this doesn't matter because as yet, no one knows it's in the market for shares. The news of the order also goes through the speed bump on its way out of IEX, and it's only now that the high-speed trader can see the order as it's spread around the rest of the market. But it's too late. IEX has already had time to check the other exchanges to see what the up-to-date share price is. The speed merchants have lost their advantage.
We're not going to let a buyer pay a price that we know is not the right price. And so, in many ways, we prevent trades from happening. We're lowering our revenue by protecting them. We're lowering our market share, but we're preserving the experience and the quality of the experience of a buyer on our market by not letting them get picked off consistently.
This is Nasdaq's data center at Carteret. The other stock markets have waged a concerted but unsuccessful battle against IEX's approval by regulators. They argued that the 350 microsecond speed bump meant the new exchange would prevent fair access to the market.
Now, we did ask Nasdaq for an interview, but they declined, as did the New York Stock Exchange, which is a shame because there are plenty of questions we'd love to ask them.
No one can say they're not cleaning up Wall Street, but a few pine needles is the least of their problems. Faith in our financial system has not recovered since the crash. Slowing everything down and freezing out the high-speed traders may help. It could also help the whole system become more stable and less prone to a potentially disastrous meltdown.